at a brisk pace throughout. It doesn't take time to stop and think. It is constantly showing you something new, taking you to a new place. Dev Patel's journey through this life of David Copperfield is nonstop. It is just like he's one place to another. And of course, the novel is all about this character taking on new personalities with whichever group he happens to find himself in at any given time. And so it is also a catalog of different characters and locations and things. And I think the movie benefits from moving through that very fast and using very interesting film techniques. There are ways of showing the character writing his memoir. There are ways of, in certain scenes, they'll like project something on a sheet hanging from a clothesline to show you what someone is thinking. There's all kinds of really inventive visual flourishes that make the movie, I think, special and feel kinetic and always on the go throughout it. I really dug it. I had a good time watching The Personal History of David Copperfield.
All right. The Personal History of David Copperfield is streaming right now. I think you need to buy it or rent it, right? You probably rented it, right?
I rented it on Google Play, which is the only service I was able to see that it was on. It was like $7, I think, for me to rent.
But most platforms will have The Personal History of David Copperfield. I'm really excited about this, Jeff. I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
I did indeed, yeah. Hey, I want to jump in here and tell you about our sponsor, Storyworth. It's a different kind of year. We may not be able to gather all together with friends and family for Thanksgiving. I know I'm certainly not going to be able to see my family the way I always do for the holidays, but that doesn't mean I can't still feel close. I don't still want to feel close. And with Storyworth, I do get a little bit closer to my loved ones. I gave a Storyworth subscription to my father for Father's Day a couple of years ago and one to my mom for Mother's Day just last year. And both times it has been a wonderful, wonderful gift. What is Storyworth? It is an online service that helps your loved ones share stories through thought-provoking questions about their memories and personal thoughts. You engage with your family in ways that I know I had a hard time doing on my own. It's not the kind of thing where I just send my mom an email and ask her a question about her childhood or how she grew up or something about her past that I didn't know. But with Storyworth, every single week, my mom or my dad, when it was his year, they got an email with a different story prompt, questions that I would never think to ask, like how has your life turned out differently from how you imagined it would? Or have you ever pulled any great pranks? And because it's an email, it just feels natural to respond to the email right back. My parents took it really seriously and wrote wonderful responses. I can read those responses in real time. And then after a year, Storyworth compiled their stories, including pictures that I submitted, into a beautiful keepsake book that is shipped for free to me. So you can give your loved ones the gift of spending time together wherever you live with Storyworth. Get started right away with no shipping by going to storyworth.com/filmcast. You'll get $10 off your first purchase. That's storyworth.com/ and then the word /filmcast, SLASHFILMCAST, all one word. And it gets you $10 off. Again, storyworth.com/filmcast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for me to tell you about our sponsor, Manscaped. That's right, the holidays are here. Have you made your wish list yet? Well, our sponsor, Manscaped, is the #1 wished-for gift of the year, the best in men's below and above the belt grooming. Manscaped is here to ensure you're taking care of your manhood and your nose hairs with their new Performance Package. And I want to talk a little bit to the ladies tonight. That's right, the ladies who want their man scaped. What could possibly be the better gift this holiday season than the Manscaped Performance Package? Imagine giving your loved one an attractive box. They open it up on Christmas or Hanukkah or any holiday morning, And what does it say? They pop open that box, and right there it says, your balls will thank you. That's right. It really does say that on the Manscaped box. Your balls will thank you. That is love. That is love. Included in this new package is the Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, which is waterproof and uses 9,000 RPM motor-powered 360-degree rotary dual-blade system. You want to stick that up your nose. It'll get rid of those hairs. I'm talking power in your nose hole. Look, guys, 79% of partners polled admitted that long nose hair is a major turnoff. Why not use the best tools for the job hair? Plus, the bundle includes the Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer, the best trimmer on the market for your balls, butt, and body. That's right, the 3 Bs. You want to get those 3 Bs looking their best, right, buddy? I know that you do. So listen, ladies, if you give this your balls will thank you for it kind of gift on the holidays, it's a gift for them, it's a gift for you. It's a win-win. This is amazing. Oh, let's not forget the famous liquid formulations, the Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and the Crop Reviver Ball Toner to maximize your ball hygiene routine. You can get 20% off and free shipping with the code FILMCAST at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use that promo code FILMCAST, FILMCAST. What are you waiting for? Go whack your weeds and make Santa proud. Give the gift that keeps on giving. I promise you, your balls will thank you.
All right, before we move on to your next What We've Been Watching, Jeff, I do want to acknowledge that Jonathan Palermo in the chat room did throw out a movie, because we're broadcasting live right now. He did throw out a movie that he was baffled why we didn't mention it during our preamble about movies that we would have been talking about, and that movie is Tenet. I don't think Tenet counts because it did have a release. Like, it did come out in theaters, right? So yeah. We were imagining, like, if the coronavirus hadn't happened, like the movies we would have been thinking about. Anyway,
I would have certainly been thinking about it more. Like, we would have seen Tenet. So I guess in that respect, it's out, but I still have not seen it. Yeah,
Tenet now feels like one of those movies that I always meant to get around to seeing, but just haven't for whatever reason. It feels, it's weird. Like, there isn't any way for me to have seen it, but I feel like so many people have seen it. It's just one of those movies that's like, my list of shame. It's on my list of shame now is what it is. It's
right. It exists in my mind. When like a TV show does like a spoof of what a director's movies would be. Tenet to me feels like a not real Christopher Nolan movie. It is the thing you see on the background of a TV show. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to seeing it someday.
Yeah, it's like that Robert Zemeckis movie in the inside the
exactly
Charlie Kaufman movie. Yeah.
This time we're moving time backwards, everybody. Christopher Nolan's a genius.
All right, Jeff, what else have you been watching?
Oh, just briefly, I'll mention Marvel 616. Faithful listeners to our show will know that I am a Marvel zombie from way back. Love Marvel, and Disney Plus debuted a new series, a new docu-series called Marvel 616 that I guess you would say the premise is that each episode delves into a kind of undercovered or revealed little corner of the structure of Marvel. Writers that maybe you wouldn't see highlighted in other things, or there's an episode on cosplay. There's an episode that is hosted by Paul Scheer, friend of the show, Paul Scheer, who is talking about like really obscure Marvel characters that he's trying to. The premise of the episode is he's trying to like pitch a new series but he can't find a character that hasn't already appeared in some sort of Marvel property, so he has to find really obscure characters. So it's like, little corners of the Marvel universe, or more, not even the Marvel universe as fiction, but more like the machinations of Marvel as a company, as a force throughout the years. I mean, the first episode is all about this Japanese Spider-Man series that existed in the late 70s that is kind of lost and nobody really has heard of before, but they talk about how it sort of was a precursor to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and a lot of other things. Those fascinating little, diamonds in the rough from Marvel history. and it's really good. It's really well made. I think I kind of think the show should be half-hour episodes, and they are hour episodes. I like the depth that they go into, but I also feel like some of the episodes overstay their welcome. At least for me, they did, and it just felt like, well, I kind of wished it was just a half an hour and I could jump in and jump out and learn something fast and not have to stick around for a whole hour of this. But it's impressive that they have so many episodes and they're all quite long and in depth. And I think well worth watching if you're curious about some of the sides of Marvel as a company that maybe you might not know.
Cool. That's Marvel 616. It's streaming on Disney Plus, right?
Yes.
And I believe it was created by David Gelb, the guy who directed Jiro Dreams of Sushi.
Nice.
So,
I mean,
which is a great documentary.
Did Chef's Table and stuff too. Like he's done a bunch of series so far. Yeah.
A lot of slow motion shots of people making comic books, Chef, or anything like that.
Yeah.
They're actually eating sushi. It's weird.
Yeah. And classical music's playing in the background. I thought this was a Marvel show. I don't know.
That's Marvel 616 on Disney Plus. Okay, I will run through my stuff real quick. This week, I finished The Crown Season 4. Now, we talked about The Crown Season 4 on the podcast last week. And Devindra, I think, called it a great sleep show, is what the
nap.
technical
I think he
term.
used the word nap.
Great show to nap to. Yeah.
And I'm just going to come out right now and say I disagree, Devindra. I respectfully register my objection to that characterization.
Sounds like somebody that hasn't enjoyed a good nap.
So true. I mean, that's true. But I will say that I think that The Crown is a really good television show. After having watched season 4, and last week I thought to myself, is this good? Is this not?
Yeah.
And I think it's actually really good.
I will say I've heard from people saying, because Dave, you're coming into this as a Crown babe, a newborn, really into this series, and let me tell you,
crowning. He's just crowning. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, this is the final crowning. Season 2, season 3. Oh, buddy, like there were like large chunks of episodes where nothing happens, and I've heard from many people where season 4 is actually kind of a return to form. I didn't really gel with that first episode, but I'll probably keep watching it. Yeah.
I think it's really great. I mean, a few things about just a couple random stray observations about The Crown season 4. One is that there are many objections to the fact that, and we have had this debate on this podcast before, but I do think that they should put something in every episode that's like, this episode was based off of true events, and some facts and conversations have been changed, and like literally that's it. Nothing else. Everything else is fine. But like, I think without that, the show has the lavish production values and the sheen of reality. And I do think there are some people, a significant group of people, who will watch this show and think, oh, that's exactly how it happened, or pretty close to how it happened, when in fact most of the show, in terms of the conversations that occur, are complete fabrications. So that's just my personal opinion. Not everyone will agree. The thing is, it is clearly the creation of a person who thinks that the institution of the monarchy is toxic. I think that he humanizes the people that are caught up in it, and he makes you sympathize with them. But fundamentally, he thinks that there are like many terrible, terrible things about it, that it destroys more than it does good in the world. And that comes through very clear in all the storytelling in the show. And speaking of storytelling, I think that the show is very good, like episodically. What I mean by that is, it's been a long time since I can't remember the time I've seen a show that's like really good episodically, where every hour is a self-contained story. Let me give you an example. Better Call Saul, probably the best show on television right now. I don't think necessarily works episodically. No. Right? I think it's very, very highly serialized. This show, The Crown, you could dip in, never having seen an episode. You wouldn't get a lot out of it. You wouldn't get the most out of it you could. But fundamentally, it tells a complete story in all the episodes that I've seen so far. So anyway, I actually think it's a great show. So I'm going to say you should watch The Crown. And I haven't seen seasons 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah, you should just jump into The Crown season 4 like Dave. I greatly season 1 is actually pretty solid. Season 1's pretty great. But yeah, man, season 3. I just recall sitting through some of that. Yeah.
A listener tweeted at me to watch season 3, episode 3 with no context. I don't remember who it was. They said, just watch season 3, episode 3, no context, just go watch it. Yep. And I did that.
I think
and
it's,
I thought it was.
Is it the one?
Yeah.